viewers, welcome into another episode of Apprentice Basketball's Coach's Corner. I'm here with head coach Evan Kee. Coach, 2 games coming off a second episode here, coming off 2 games you had at the EMAC NSAC Challenge in Elizabeth City. First game of the 115-61 over Central International, and then Thomas Nelson. That was a nail biter there. You guys came back but lost 69-65. Talk about the experience that weekend.
Yeah, so good experience. I mean, we hadn't played here in a year and a half, so this was our first game in a while since the 2019-2020 season. So we were just happy to play an official game. We played against Central International College. Had a really good opening day. Ended up, getting everyone in. Everyone actually scored. Everyone that dressed scored, so that was really positive. Had a lot of good things from a lot of younger guys in their first college game. Then the next day, we didn't really have a lot of time to celebrate. We won the game, got back to the hotel room. Then the next day, we had to do it all over again. And we got out a little bit slow against Thomas Nelson. They really did a really good job defensively. Held us to 20 in the first half, which is really, really low for us. Second half, we bounced back. It was back and forth game. We could just never fully overtake the lead and kind of just ran out of time.
Yeah.
So we see them again in a couple weeks, December 1st, but so now we're just getting ready for this weekend.
And we were hoping to talk about a third game, your home opener, but unfortunately Monday night that got canceled, and now you guys are about to hit the road again, headed up to Pennsylvania for another kind of thing like you did last weekend at PSU-Mont Alto. You're playing PSU York and then PSU-Mont Alto. Talk about what you see in those guys and what it's like getting on that bus again, and now you're going up in the mountains.
Yeah. Well, for one, we're disappointed we couldn't get the home game. So obviously we were finished our pregame meal 4:30 Monday. Phone rang, and then I noticed there was an area code from where our opponent was traveling in from. So generally that phone call isn't usually a good thing unless they're saying that they just pulled up or something like that, and it wasn't. They said they had some technical difficulties with their transportation. So unfortunately, we lost that home game. That's kind of just been the Apprentice School Achilles heel so far. We just haven't been able to have many home events, but we refocused. Again, we had the inter-squad scrimmage Monday, so at least we had the officials. We played it like a normal game, and my assistant coaches got a chance to lead that. And now heading up to Pennsylvania. We're playing Penn State York tomorrow and Penn State Mont Alto on Saturday. So those 2 teams are coming off of 20-win seasons in 1920. They didn't play last season due to the COVID pandemic, but when you look at the USCAA and you look at the USCAA in particular Division II, those are 2 names that you see a lot at the top. They're consistently in the national tournament. They're consistently winning a lot of games. They're competing for their conference championship, competing for national championships. So it was a game that when we had the opportunity to go up there for the tournament, I jumped on it. So I might be kind of nuts because our schedule's been tough. We're playing some really good teams, but I want to make sure we saw some of the best teams at our level and playing some different teams. We haven't played any of the Penn State schools since I've been here.
Sure.
So we have so many conference games that there's not a lot of room for teams out of conference. So we're going to make the most of it. We're looking forward to the experience. It's a further trip for us, but that's why we're going. We're going to actually get to spend 2 nights in the hotels, and it'll be a good thing for our guys coming together.
Now, you look back at last weekend, and now you were talking about you're going on the road up to Pennsylvania, but how does something like last weekend prepare you? Because you have you scored 115, and then you had that tough game defensive game against Thomas Nelson. I'm assuming that prepares you for this trip, playing some USCA schools that, again, you haven't really played, but you've had the best of both worlds on last week, the high scoring game and the defensive game. So how do you talk to your guys, and does that prepare you for this trip?
Oh, it definitely does. And I've talked to our guys a lot about just never getting too high or too low. So obviously, after last Friday's blowout victory, we were feeling really good. Everyone's pumping their chest out, guys double-doubles and tons of open threes that they hit, and we really did well with some of our defensive schemes. And the next day, we lost. And when you first lose, everyone starts to panic. Everyone's like, okay, we got to change this up. We got to do this different. We got to do this different. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we lost to a really good team. Thomas Nelson is a good program, good team, very well coached, and they played with a lot of grit and a lot of toughness, and we lost. So it exposed some of our weaknesses, but I also knew that we're not as bad as that game might have seemed, and we're not as good as the first win might have seemed. So the season's a long journey. We got 23 games left, and then including postseason. So it's a long journey, and we're not going to get too high or too low, regardless of the results of last weekend, regardless of the results of this weekend. We're just going to keep trying to get better, and I know this coaches talk, but keep trying to get a little bit better each day, and eventually the results will work themselves out.
Yeah, and I've run the small college sports report, and you have proven, and you talk about Thomas Nelson, we've got Brian Stratton down the road, but you guys kind of set the standard, but small college basketball in this area is strong. And you guys again have led that, and I think it's going to be exciting because you get a rematch with Thomas Nelson, and we'll talk about that in the next coaches show. But right now, we're focused on Pennsylvania, going up there. Hey, we're going to go grab one of your players before practice because I know you guys got practice. You got to get on the road. But for Coach Evan Kee, I'm Chris Sawyer. We'll be right back. Go Builders. Hey Builders, we're back here. We've got freshman Climente Riddick from Tallwood High School. I just told him my wife went there, so she'll be happy I'm interviewing a fellow Lion. Hey, you're a freshman. You got to play last weekend, first college experience, coming here to Apprentice. Talk about your local player. What was the decision that brought you here to Apprentice?
Well, I had a lot of great guidance counselors and leaders, and my father was the final person that gave me the okay, like, hey, this is a great opportunity. Don't miss it. So it was very difficult getting into Apprentice school. So just having the feeling of being accepted here was just a blessing. So it was a wonderful opportunity, and I'm glad I took it. And I'm just very excited.
So what's the transition from going from Tallwood to here? Has there been a big difference from you on a daily basis playing? But talk about that transition. A lot of people don't understand what it's like to go from high school to college.
Yeah, and this is not an ordinary college. You work 8 hours. So having that transition to not only be in academic classes but also work on the waterfront, it was a big change, and it was kind of hard to get used to. So attendance is very big here. You want to be attended, have great attendance anywhere, but here it's just a very mandatory thing. So that was the biggest step for me to take, to be very responsible into my actions, and transferring from high school to college it was easy, but it was great to have a lot of people in my life that helped me out with those kind of things.
Well, it's probably great too because you're local, so you have your family and friends watch you here. And all right, so you went on the road last week to Elizabeth City, which is kind of a road trip. It's not too far from here, but now you're getting ready to practice. You're getting ready to hop on the bus and go up to Pennsylvania. So this is your first big road trip. Are you looking forward to that, bonding with your team?
Yes, sir. My teammates we're deep, so we have a great bond with each other. We're looking forward to this. This is the furthest road trip we have this season, so I'm very looking forward to having the road trip. We have a great time. We bond, a lot of laughs and jokes, so really looking forward to that.
All right, we'll let you get to practice. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be right back, wrapping up with Coach Evan Kee before they hit the road to Pennsylvania. Again, go Builders. All right, hey, we're back here, Builders, with Coach Evan Kee. All right, Coach, again, we talked about you getting ready to go on that bus to Pennsylvania. What can the Builder fans expect? It will be live streamed. We'll put that out. Go to gobuilders.com for that, but we'll put that out on Twitter as well. But what can we expect this weekend?
I think it's going to be two really, really tough, challenging games, but I think we're going to worry about us. So we're going to play fast, get the ball up the court, try to score a lot of points, make sure we're still utilizing our deep bench, getting different guys in, and just trying different lineups, and also just trying to get better. Again, we know that these are two really good teams, but we think we have a really good team as well. So I think each game we're starting to get a little bit more and more experience. So even though we're playing tough opponents, we're going to try to impose our will, do what we do really well, and hopefully we have a good showing. And the results are going to work themselves out one way or another.
And you mentioned something at the opening of the show about postseason. So I'm sure, like I said, you haven't played these Penn State schools, but this prepares you as you get through the season, get the postseason, that you're going to be playing schools that you don't play.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the USCA is a pretty wide-stretched organization. So I would say that a good majority of the schools are in Pennsylvania, in upstate New York, as well as spanning down to Florida and then going out west too. So what's good is, we're playing two schools that have a lot of familiarity within the USCA. So I think sometimes it's hard to compare opponents. When we play some of the teams down here, those teams that are on the ranking, or coaches that are on the ranking committee, have no idea who we're playing.
Yeah.
But now that we're playing a team that's a little bit familiar name-wise to them, if we can come up with a win, I think everyone's going to understand that we beat a really good team. So I think that's going to help us with seedings, and also kind of give us a look at some of the styles that we might see in the national tournament.
All right, well, Coach, good luck. Again, everybody go to gobuilders.com. You can find it on the schedule. Click and watch it. Support these guys as they go up there, and we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully we're talking about 2 victories.
Hopefully.
Right.
So.
Hey, it's Evan Kee. I'm Chris Sawyer. Till next week, go Builders.